Superman and Lois, Season 1, Episode 8, titled Holding the Winch. And this episode is a good episode. Is it the best episode of the season? No. I mean, at this point, the last couple episodes have been characters finding out about stuff that the audience have already known about, with a little bit of differences, a little bit of story here, a little bit of something new for the audience to get hooked onto. Plus, last week we find out that Captain Luthor who is actually John Henry Irons, aka Steel, and he's the one who has the beef with Superman because evil Superman on his world and his parallel universe and all that kind of stuff. You get stuff like that, but most of this episode is that. It is essentially, they find out who John Henry Irons is and they understand what his whole thing is. And most of this episode is them trying to prove to John that Superman, maybe the events are slightly going to be the same, but, this Superman is not going to go bad. He's not going to kill Lois. Now, if you kill Lois, that's a whole different story. There's a possibility he might go bad, hint, hint, injustice. But the game or the comic, or soon the anime movie. Okay, but they're trying to prove he's a hero, he's a good guy, but all John sees is, for now he is, but for now, but soon. Don't be surprised in a month he goes bad and go loopy and he's about to kill you guys and all kind of stuff. And the wires of the army of Kryptonians and that Morgan Edge is making, and you're like, this dynamic between each of the characters with John, if it's Lois, if it's Clark as Superman, if it's Jonathan Lang, there's a little bit of talk for Jonathan Lang. It's a really well done dynamic, and John Henry Irons in this is a really well fleshed out written character where you understand, maybe he's very stoic, but you understand the pain and where he's coming from, and it really gives you a sense of understanding of why he's like, you ain't that S, you cut, and you're still DeCalo, that blue might turn to black. And your eyes might laser them on people who maybe do not deserve it. And all that. Now, this is probably the first episode, that I really did have some, moments. I mean, I think one of them was kind of like me going on nerdy and being like, the big climax is Superman fighting in a gas pit, is fighting this guy in a gas of kryptonite, and in my head the nerdy me is like, and that's not how kryptonite works. It should be, he can be weakened and shouldn't be able to do anything. He's still chucking this dude across the walls and bending things. He shouldn't do that because he's surrounded by gas and that is kryptonite. That's basically what came to me with the big climax. It was like, I don't think you know how kryptonite works, even though it's fiction. and there's a magical mark that kills the alien. I was like, okay. But the other one is Lois going to therapy. Now, understanding so, people go to therapy for different reasons, and the thing with it is they drop something. Now, here's the thing. Give a little bit of backstory. So, there's this thing with Jonathan, and the kids' stuff, the stuff with Jonathan and Jordan, they're pretty much a sideline there. They basically have a little side plot of Sarah joining a singing, a musical audition for a musical in Smallville High. I don't know why I couldn't say high, high school Smallville in a sentence. Jeez, but that's kind of it. But the stuff with Jonathan and Lois, there's a situation where she is terrified of him, and to the point she just yells at him and basically whips him a new one, and whips him a new one, and a new one, 10 different new ones in a span of 2 minutes. And when Clark was in the room, I'm like, nope, Clark, zip it. Boys, time to be the Boy Scout. But because of it, she goes to therapy. And then the therapy, and then the psychiatrist says, well, do you maybe act this way because of this situation? And I'm like, fuck you. I got kind of whipped by the psychiatrist. I was like, and this is why I am never going to go to therapy. If I ever need, if people think I need to go to therapy, I'm never going to go, because there's always that chance of them putting shit in your head. Because in my head, I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? She's a parent whose child was in danger and was scared and was more likely in a span of 2 seconds going to get killed. And she was terrified and scared, and she, unsafe so whipped her son a new one. It's like, what are you doing? You should be, you're being reckless and all that kind of stuff. I was like, again, it's like Lois Lane talks to a psychiatrist friend. I'm like, Lois, your friend's a bitch. I'm just gonna say it. And then they add, and because of it, I understand there's people who go through it. It's a very tough thing, and in those situations and in those moments, and it for that at that. So I try not to hit spoilers, but it kind of whips people's souls. But it's just, I was like, how does one equal the other? It's like, how does that? It's like apples and oranges a little bit. It's like, I was like, I got a little bit frustrated when those moments happened. But yeah, this is a good episode. This is a good episode.